A year or three ago, I talked about my favorite Mons, and with a new generation, I don't think I'd change it much, besides maybe putting Toxtricity in there, or Berserker, or Score Bunny. I love a lot of these. Gen 8 was great. In terms of the Pokemon designs themselves, that is. But now, I'd like to expand and clarify Lost in Canon, and talk about my top 20 least favorite Pokemon designs. And if you're a regular viewer, you may already know one and two of them, but maybe not. And who knows, maybe after I sit down and think about this hard, putting it all on a script paper, I'll come to different conclusions, and my opinions will change, because that's what opinions do. People change. And why didn't I do a top 10, like the top 10 favorites? Because it's really hard for me to narrow them down. I don't really hate any Pokemon design besides a few, so few I couldn't even do a top 5. So I'm basically throwing all of my honorable mentions in here to make a top 20 instead because, I don't know, narrowing things down is hard, okay? Let's go! Number 20 is Sunflora. It's just plain and forgettable. It looks like an unfinished beta design. It looks like most Temtem. Also, a smiling sunflower. Oh wow, like that hasn't been done a million times in every single children's book before. OC, do not steal. And why does the highlight on its belly look like a lemon? Why is that the most interesting part of its design? Looking at it, it's so plain that my eyes are drawn to the highlight on its gut. And why is it so short? The whole thing that sunflowers have is that they're taller than people. Game Freak somehow made one of the most unique flowers as plain and generic as possible. I mean, even Sunkern has more personality. Look at this cutie. And even back when I was new to Pokemon, age 6, playing Pokemon Silver for the first time, I thought it was still one of the lamest designs. There's nothing to it. And still, to this day, it is one of my least favorites. For number 19, we get to Mr. Rhyme. Now, I do want to say, it's totally fine to like the inspiration and ideas for a design, but not like its execution. And that's my case here. We did a whole video about how awesome and dark the inspirational sources for this one are, but it's still kinda gross. I never really liked regular Mr. Mime before either, and they gave it a hat, and a mustache that doesn't even fit its source. It's British, for the sake of being British. And then they had the audacity to put an extra clown face on its belly? Why? And why does it have to blink? It's disturbing. It's disgusting. I don't like it. Next Mon, 18, Snubble. I punch my Snubble plush at every opportunity, and it hates it.
Bad dog!
It's just one of those genetic trash dogs, but it's pink. And a fairy? It has gross liver spots, and its head is uncannily large. I mean, look at it in Detective Pikachu. That just solidified my distaste for it. I don't even want to think about how this thing's anatomy works. Plus, it was a big bully in that Pikachu short. Honestly, this whole opinion might just stem from that. Even child me hated Snubble. I've since grown to sort of grow towards it, but a sort of so ugly it's cute kind of thing. But still, not enough for it to not make this list. 17, Roselia. May come as a surprise to some. Roserade is one of my favorite Pokemon, top 1 to 3 depending on my mood, but Roselia? No thanks. Why are its roses these colors? It's some complicated language of flowers stuff. Why does it have bedroom eyes? This made Kid Me very uncomfortable. Looking at its original sprite now, I can tell that its eyes are actually closed, but back then I thought it just had creepy pedophile eyes. On its stupid face, which is on its stupid head, which is on its plain and boring body. So yeah, like Sunflora, it's just kinda plain, honestly. I mean, look at its back view. Is it wearing an apron and nothing else? It's the sleepiest rose pom-pom wielding cheerleader I've ever seen. Aren't cheerleaders supposed to be pepped up on caffeine and a secret hate for each other? How does this thing come from such a cutie and turn into such an amazing Mon? You know, considering both of those were added in later generations, I think they were just trying to justify its existence because it was that bad. I'll forever hold a grudge against it for ruining an otherwise amazingly well-designed evolution line. 16, so here's an odd one. I say odd because I actually really do like this design. It's Zeraora. It's super cool looking. I love it. It's like my favorite Digimon OC. It looks like it fit right into generic monster-based shonen or kodomo anime. And that's the problem. It just doesn't feel right to me. I get that this is extremely opinionated, but I don't mind fur-bait Pokemon. but this just feels like it's pushing it. Like, compare it to Incineroar, Delphox, Lucario, they still look like Pokemon to me. Maybe it's the eyes, the pose, the proportions, I don't know for sure, but if this were the main character of some other anime or game or something, I'd play it. But also, as it stands, Zeraora is the lamest mythical Pokemon, and that's another reason I don't like it. Like, what does it even do? You put a code in the game and now you have it. Like, what? That sucks. It has always sucked, and it always will suck if they keep it up. Let's get something interesting. But I mean, even its movie has Lugia be the more important legendary thing. So I guess you can say I really love/hate Zeraora. If it was anything but a Pokemon, I would be down for it. 15, Hariyama. First off, Pokemon with clothes, I understand it, still not a huge fan of it most of the time. But also, take a look at its original sprite. This confused me as a kid so hard, and I still barely understand it. It's supposed to be a sumo wrestler, but all I see here is a gross Sukamon with legs. See what I mean? I thought its chin was its mouth and that it opened its big mouth the same way Sukamon does. And then I thought its gut was its chin and its arms were its cheeks. The hands were just floating there, armless, sort of like Haunter. It was just so confusing, so I never grew fond of it, and even today, I'm still not a fan of its ears, or face, or like, any of it. Gen 3 didn't do a great job with its fighting types, as number 14 is Metadite. It just looks like an uncomfortable monkey. Like a monkey in a diaper with its ears way too high on its head. That's the male one specifically. The ears on the female is fine. But why is its head shaped like garlic? Is that supposed to be a turban? It's not clear enough to be considered a good part of it, and it just comes off as a dumb and pointy big brain thing. It looks like a Chinese knockoff air diffuser. And that original sprite, God, those eyes gave me nightmares. Plus, it doesn't even evolve into anything cool. But at least Metacham isn't bad, it's just a noodle-armed cartoon. Here we go. With unlucky number 13, we get to one of the commonly hated Pokemon designs. It's Girder. Gen 5 gets a lot of hate for its designs, and like, I get it, but I disagree with a lot of them. Vanillux would probably be number 21 on this list, but I'm fine with Vanillish and Vanillite. Vanillite's actually super cute. I'm also fine with Garbodor. Heck, Trubbish is super cute. Sock and Throw, Cofagrigus, Sigilyph, no big issues. And in the case of Girder, I'm still fine with Timburr and Conkeldurr. I get it. They are carny strong men that help with construction because New York City, thus Unova, is always under construction. But like, of the three of them, this is the worst offender of the bubblegum veins thing. And while the clown nose is fine on Conkeldurr thanks to its head also being round and it's got the stupid bobble and the nose is darker and more of an oval, on Girder, it just stands out as bad. It doesn't fit its face. And speaking of its face, what's with its poor head? I get that it's supposed to resemble puffy rainbow clown hair, but they made it flesh. It's disgusting. Is it just hard underneath? Like, just under the skin, there's a skull, a very lumpy skull? Or does it wiggle around and feel like an egg sack? And you can move the balls around? No thanks. For number 12, we get to what I think will be the most controversial Pokemon on this list. Cinderace. Gigantamax Cinderace. Especially. Not specifically, but especially. Starter Pokemon are always controversial on lists like these. Heck, starter Pokemon are almost always controversial. When they are first shown, they're almost always widely hated until they eventually grow on people. And I was hoping that this would happen to me with Cinderace, but it never did. Scorbunny is one of my favorite starter Pokemon. Top 3 for sure. Raboot is pretty good too, despite the hoodie, but Cinderace? First off, ew, did we need another sexy rabbit? And secondly, it feels like one of the worst offenders of the whole clothes on Pokemon thing. Only up there with Sock Throw and Hitmonchan. I think it's mainly the shorts. Like, they are actually defined shorts. Like, there's a belt and the bottom end thing. Like, Lucario has shorts too, but they aren't as defined. On Lucario, you could still pass them off as oddly puffed out thigh fur, but you can't do that with Cinderace. And its stupid compression socks and shoes, and the white shirt with frilly cut off sleeves and a dumb bike racing helmet? What the actual heck? Its hands are so tiny, they don't look like they belong to it. Like at all. Not even the anime seems to be able to redeem this for me. And then it's Gigantamax form. So all of the Gen 8 starters have really lame Gigantamax Gigantamaxes. Like, they stay basically the same size, but some accessory gets bigger. That's stupid. Why just the starters? Didn't want to potentially hinder your marketing for them? You shouldn't let business decisions get in the way of quality, Pokemon Company. Though I guess that's what you're more known for now. But yeah, they just made its bulb bigger, and made its ears bigger. I didn't think making Cinderace worse was possible. 11 time, Keldeo. Keldeo is another commonly hated one. Really, the whole Swords of Justice group seems to be hated, but I don't really hate them. Like, they are weird, I'll give you that, but weird, can't tell exactly what the animal is, designs are exactly what Gen 1 gets praised with all the time. I guess any community becomes hypocritical when it gets big enough. Anyway, Keldeo. First of all, it was already in the generation that had way too many legendary and mythical Pokemon, Gen 5. And this was also when everyone started asking, why does every important Pokemon need multiple forms now? Another crime Keldeo committed. But even worse, its form change is the worst one. Like, the Weather Trio completely changed their anatomy, as does Shaman and Giratina and Sawsbuck. Seasons? That's cool. East-West Basculin? Cool. Meloetta's thing? Cool enough, at least the difference is drastic enough, but Keldeo! It gets a haircut and its unicorn horn turns into a bad dragon! Wow! That's it! Don't Google what that is, but it's true. It shoots water out of its hooves? What the heck? That's an idea that could have been applied to something cool instead. Keldeo doesn't even look like a Kelpie. And it doesn't help that Keldeo came out during the peak of My Little Pony pandemonium. You're just catering to bronies now. I mean, why else would it have this be its main pose? Why does it have a defined butt? And to top it all off, its movie is one of the worst ones. And its personality is unfavorable. God, I hate its snout. Cartoon trash in my glorious anime. Number 10. Circuitry. A lot of the Ultra Beasts were broadly hated, mainly because most of them don't look like Pokemon. People don't realize that that's literally the point. They are Ultra Beasts. Pokemon from alternate dimensions. However, that doesn't excuse bad design though, and I am of the opinion that Circuitry is a stupid design. It's literally just cables. That's not exaggerating. A lot of people exaggerate with Objectmon. Like, ooh, it's literally just a teapot. Like, no, there's a ghost in there. But here, it's literally just cables, power cables and Christmas lights. It doesn't even have a face. It's not ghost type, so it's not a possessed object. It's just straight up power cables. Like, yeah, Stack Attack is just a wall. At least it has eyes and each brick is its own little being. That's creepy. That's cool. Cortana is just origami. Yeah, but it comes from a dimension where the grass has the same properties as paper, so it's just a plant Pokemon from its own dimension. Circuitry is just power cables and lights. I'm usually the guy to defend Objectmon, but this guy crosses that line. The power line, if you will. Number 9, Magmortar. Other than a lot of the Gen 5 Pokemon, the other group of Pokemon commonly hated are the added evolutions in Gen 4. Honestly though, I prefer a lot of them. Magnezone, Weavile, Mamoswine, Tangrowth, Honchkrow, Mismagius, Electivire, the list goes on and on. These are cool, but Magmortar, Licky Licky too, by the way, but I guess that's an honorary number 22. Magmortar is all of the worst parts of Magmar, but more of it. And Magmar was one of my least favorite Gen 1 Pokemon to begin with. Mommy, I want Twisted Metal! We have Twisted Metal at home, dear. Meanwhile, the Twisted Metal at home. Why is its body so needlessly rotund? Cannon arms on a non-mechanical Pokemon? That face! In the anime especially. How about don't? Commit die, or Magmortar will do it for you. Why don't its lips connect? Why don't its lips connect? Golly! Number 8! Helioptile! It just doesn't look like a lizard. Legitimately thought it was a stupid dog until I knew what it evolved into. Its head is supposed to look like a wind turbine from above, and yet it does this frilly thing? And what's with its shiny? That's the dumbest shiny I think I've ever seen. And I've done a whole series explaining every shiny. Why is its head such a stupid raindrop sphere shape? Lizards don't do that. It's such a shame too, because Heliolisk is cool. Well, at least Helioptile isn't my least favorite Lizardmon, because that dishonor goes to number 7, Drizzile. If I put all of the middle evolutions of the starters next to each other, it wouldn't even be a contest for which is my least favorite. It's Drizzile.
Go cry, emo kid.
I had an emo phase for like 3 years in high school, so I can say that. But what's with its boxing glove hands? Why are they so big? Why are they so green? Like, yeah, it's a chameleon. They can change their colors, but why stick to this? It just doesn't look good, and doesn't reflect its pre- or post-evolution at all. I guess that can be said of emo-phased teenagers too, now that I think about it. But where are its fingers? It has all 5 gross fingers when it evolves, and it only has 2 as sobble, like chameleons do. So I guess this disgusting mass would be fitting of the middle stage, but does that mean there's bones for all 5 fingers in there? Like it's a whale fin? I don't want to think about that. Just like I never want to see Drizzile in motion ever again. It goes from standing up to crawling on all 4s, chin in the dirt to walk around. I guess that's where it deserves to be. Number 6, Hitmonchan. Ever since I laid my eyes upon Hitmonchan in the Gen 1 anime, I thought it was a dude, like just some guy with a horrible mutation. Why else would he have literal clothes? I guess there's not much else to say about it. I just don't like it, or its stupid football armor top under its frilly ballet top. Nor do I like its shoes that have no kind of detail added to them. Nor do I like its flayed pigskin head. For me, it's the original, why the heck is this a Pokemon? Who thought this was a good idea? Pokemon. And it's a shame that that happened so early. Number 5, Carkol. How can anybody love this thing?
That's just a stupid boulder!
And yet it's worse than just a stupid boulder. It's a minecart. A literal boulder carved into the shape of a coal mining cart. Wheels and all. Though I do like how the wheels aren't actually connected to it, because wheels wouldn't work for like real world anatomy. So Carkol is just magically propelled around. But seriously, did Game Freak see the success of Minecraft and need to appeal to the kids? If so, why did they think kids would like this face? Why is its mouth like that? It looks like if you crossed a fish with an ugly doll and propelled it at Mach 4. Its eyes are streaking by. It just looks so uncomfortable. I would have preferred a Bob the Builder tier design to something like this. I don't think I've actually hated or completely disagreed with using a Pokemon before. But while it was uncomfortable, I still did it because I wanted a Colossal. But looking back, it probably wasn't worth having to see Carkol as often as I did. Number 4, Rhyperior. How is the word of the day. How? How do you take the iconic first Pokemon ever designed and decide that this is an appropriate follow-up to it? Rhydon is cool. It's a rhino, kaiju, triceratops, T-Rex thing with a drill for a horn, and then they turn it into a rock.
It's a rock! A rock!
Where did the wrecking ball tail come from? How are its elbows? Why did something made of rock need a safety vest? A construction worker's safety vest and a hard hat at that. I mean, it honestly barely even looks like that. But that's what it says it is. Knee pads? Cannon arms? What am I looking at? What is this? What is that? What are those? And why is it fat now? They're going all in on the slow and defensive idea, I guess, but they didn't need to make it look trash. Number 3, Choodle. I think Choodle kind of speaks for itself here. There is nothing redeemable about Choodle other than the fact that at least it evolves. A single-toed freak. What's the point of a turtle that can't protect its most vital part of it, its head, inside of its shell? I mean, the sheer size. It's like Fennekin 2, but at least Fennekin's head is mostly ears and fluff. This is a solid turtle, and I just do not like its face. It looks about as smart as the can opener it's based on.
Who you calling Pinhead?
And it's got that helioptile, overly round head shape thing again. If they wanted to differentiate it from a Koopa, I'd have changed the shell, not the head shape. Well, now, the top 2. The ones I make fun of in videos regularly. Number 2 is Crabominable. Why? Oh yeah, hey, no, you know the Yeti, the abominable snowman? Well, it's a freaking crab now. Like, I get it. Yeti crabs, those exist. Haha, they're deep in the ocean, unlike the land-based coconut crabs Crabrawler's based on. But why does it look like this? Why is its head at the very tippy top? Why does it still have caveman hair up there? Why does it have teeth? Why does it have boobs? And why does it have freaking foot pads on its gosh darn claws? What creature needs toe beans on those? How would that even evolve to exist? This is one of the 2 Pokemon that is legitimately offensive to me. I mean, have you seen how its claws open? It's like a trash can lid. Honestly, I guess that's fitting because the whole design is garbage. I mean, I've never seen a Pokemon with as many fan-made redesigns that basically all look better than the original. I mean, look at this. Even just flipping it upside down and making some tweaks makes it 100 times better. It's a punchy ghost. Now, there is an argument to be made here. If it's based on the abominable snowman, then it should be ugly. It should be abominable. So if you hate it, that means it does its job well, right? And sure, you can argue that, but I wouldn't. I save that point for Garbodor, or Babaracle, a barbarian bunch of goose barnacles. That's supposed to be ugly. But this, honestly, isn't even ugly or abominable. It just looks like a doofus. I get that trying to mix a snow ape and a crab is difficult, but those fan redesigns show that it's possible. Heck, this dumb doodle I commissioned makes it look way better. And I'm just sad that Crabrawler had potential to be neat. And then this happened. But bless its soul, at least it's not Ambip. I mean, holy gosh, whose last brain cell thought this was an idea? Not even a good or a bad one, just an idea whatsoever. Man, I want to see the freaking beta concept art. Like, what collection of ideas and designs led to this atrocity? Normally, you just take the good ideas from each beta concept piece and merge them all into one great design, but I feel like they did the opposite here. I mean, I guess some design has to be the worst one. Maybe they planned for this. But I mean, if you just replace its head with Apom's head, it's already so much better. Apom is cute. And then they did this. It somehow looks like a 3-year-old boy with a bowl cut and a fedora-less neckbeard at the same time. Are you 3? Or are you 30? And is that a nose? Or is that a nose clip so you could withstand being around yourself at conventions? And those hands that you have at the end of your tails? These are hands, while these are cow udders. You're waving around udders like the anime you obsess over. Do you only have one set of teeth? Are you okay? Your ears look red. What's even the point of adding this red? A lot of folks say the 4th gen added Evos are needlessly over-designed, and sure, a few of them are, but this is just... why? There's no need. Again, even just making this one change, going from red to its normal flesh color, makes it look at least a bit better. The only justification I can see for Ambipom is that some monkeys are pretty ugly too. But nothing compared to this monstrosity. In a world full of fictional creatures, you can make them look however you want. This looks like a 5-year-old drew something, and then a designer just made the lines pretty. But I mean, I guess inevitably, there will always be some Pokemon designs that are better and worse than others. Especially considering how varied people's tastes can be. I guarantee Ambipom is someone's favorite Pokemon, or at least in their top 10. And I guess that's a part of the charm Pokemon has, like it or not. Even in my own series of designing fan Pokemon, which I've dubbed Lockemon, there are ones that people love, and ones that people hate for the exact same reasons others love them. So just know that the opinions of a few people never matter. Like what you like, dislike what you dislike, just don't base your entire personality on that. That's for children and neckbeards. So it's for Ambipom. It's an Ambipom thing, and you do not want to be an Ambipom, do you?